History of soccer.
Okay, so the first World Cup started in 1930 and it was against Uruguay.
I'm pretty sure it's Uruguay.
Either way, it started then.
Uruguay.
That was when it really became like really big for soccer because, well, I don't know. Sticks. One guy actually used a skull because he didn't realize that he was kicking it when he went to pick it up.
Awkward.
So he decided to use a skull, which was pretty good, I guess. I mean, that's how they started it. To everybody else.
And we kick
Demonstration. They used rocks. Big rocks. Yeah, I know. I feel like that was a
No other sporting event captures the world's imagination like the FIFA World Cup. Led in the 1920s by the innovative Jules Rimet, are credited with the original. Soccer is the most popular in Europe, Spain, England, Italy, Argentina, Brazil, Vietnam, Germany, Poland, and Bulgaria. But mostly in Europe, Spain, England, and Brazil.
Okay, so I know we talked about the World Cup in the beginning. We might not talk about a lot of it, but we try to get the point across. So, back whenever soccer first started, the only thing that refs really used was handkerchiefs because they didn't really have like a flag to, you know, say their ball, or whatever.
They didn't really invent whistles until later on in the
1800s, late 1800s.
late.
And so soccer was really a complicated sport back then because they didn't have much. They really just had like we said, soccer might not seem like, oh, it's just a girl's sport, whatever. No, actually the first ones who were playing were actually guys. And they all started out because they had really nothing to do. And this was back in the Renaissance age. Soccer has grown really big the past 30 years. And for kids ages like 15 to 19. And refs didn't really come around until later on because they didn't really get the concept of like, oh, we actually need rules. So,
an average game is about like an hour and like 30 minutes.
yeah, 30.
Yeah, an hour and 30 minutes. And an average soccer player during that time they run about 7 miles. If you think about it, that's a lot of miles, and you pretty much, this is a good sport to get in shape.
Should have a point.
I was thinking.
Okay, so another thing like that they would do were instead of using like fields, they'd be playing on like pavement or dirt or whatever they could really use. Soccer really didn't start growing, and once it did, it like really hit popularity, especially in the European countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which we mentioned those.
I know. I just had it already.
Germany was probably one of the biggest ones.
Oh, I got it. During the old times, if you used like your hands or anything like that, it was a serious penalty, and they would literally like cut off your hands, and you would die from it if you touched it or broke someone else. I don't know.
Obviously now that they can't do that, so you just get a caution, which would be a yellow. When they invented penalty cards for like yellow card as being a caution, they realized that once they got into it and it became a bigger sport, they thought like, okay, you can't use your hands, and if they do, you obviously need to get penalized for it. So they came out with yellow cards, which that's what it means, is like you get a caution. You can get up to 2 yellow cards, I believe.
2 yellow cards, and then
2 yellow cards, and then
those are both warnings.
they're both warnings, and if it gets worse and you continue to do it, then you'll get a red, which means you have to leave the premises.
And you can't play the next game.
And if it's a tournament, you just have to leave. Like,
and you play a short player.
Yeah. And sorry to say this, Stienfield, but Canada's kind of soccer's
big,
national sport. And you said it was only in European countries. That's a European country.
I don't know.
If it's a European country, then I'm obviously too dumb to realize that, but oh well. Okay, so whenever people hear the word soccer, they don't think of aggressive. They're just like, oh, well, this sport's dumb because only girls play it. This sport was actually illegal in Mississippi in 1991 because of its physical contact and the way that they would play. So it became illegal. And
it was legalized, like, that's the word, right? It was
Mm-hmm.
legalized in 1991. That's when it...
That was illegal.
No, that's when it was until. See,
Oh,
until.
I'm sorry, yeah, until, until 1991.
And then that's when they started. It was... Soccer was, like, I don't know, ranked the most dangerous sport played.
Soccer is actually the second most demanding sport in the world. Motocross is, of course, first, but soccer is the second most demanding sport. Hopefully, like, a lot... I'm playing my shirt. Okay, so soccer's been played for more than 3,000 years. Is that right? For more than 3,000 years. Which, it's kind of interesting because it seems like it hasn't been that long. But once you get going, I guess it just doesn't feel... No, I don't think that's why I think that's wrong.
That's wrong, probably. I don't know. I think it was... I don't know.
It's amazing how quiet 90,000 plus people could be. It took forever, it felt like, to get into the goal. And then once it hit the net, then it became just that insanity and the celebration.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
No other sporting event captures the world's imagination like the FIFA World Cup. Led in the 1920s by the innovative Jules Rimet, are credited with the original... You guys are talking! Soccer is the most popular in Europe, Spain, England, Italy, Argentina, Brazil, Vietnam, Germany, Poland, and Bulgaria.
But soccer's really just big in, like,
The USA?
fucking hate her.
Oh, and
Canada.
And
Canada.
It's Span. So you can't forget Span. Talon told us to credit that in there.
Oh. This is the history of soccer.
Okay, so the first World Cup started in 1930, and it was against Uruguay.
I'm pretty sure it's your way.
Either way, it started then.
Uruguay.
That was when it really became, like, really
Famous.
big for soccer because, well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I know.